Hey, what's up guys? Ryan here from ExtremeTerrain, and today I'm here with the KC HiLiTES 4-inch LZR round LED lights with driving beam. This is for those of you that are looking for a high-powered, high-quality light that is small enough that you can stuff it anywhere, but of course powerful enough that it's going to provide plenty of light for any of your nighttime adventures. Now, these are coming in right around $140 per light, which at first glance seems like it is a pretty steep price. However, honestly, you get exactly what you pay for. These things are incredibly well made. They're by a very trusted name in the business. KC has been making lights for a very long time, and these are honestly a very high quality light that is going to last you a long time. Now, of course, there are more affordable options on the website as far as these aftermarket lights go, but of course, they're not going to be made with the same quality and craftsmanship as some of these higher quality lights, such as these ones from KC. Now, to back these lights up and sweeten the pot even more, these bad boys come with a 23-year warranty against any internal damage or issues that you may have with them in the long run, overall making these a very good option to go with if you have those available funds. They are sold individually, so if you're looking for a pair, of course, you'll need to buy 2 of those, and you will need to source a harness as well. We offer many harnesses on our website, and you can find those readily available for you to purchase. The next thing you will need is a mount to mount these on. As you can see, we have an aftermarket bumper, and these bolt directly onto those light tabs on the overrider hoop. Well, like I said, these are very easy to install and wire up, so I'm going to give them a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, as you should be able to get this installed in under an hour, and you can do all of this just using hand tools that you have rolling around in your toolbox. Now, as we all know, our Jeep's factory headlights and fog lights are honestly not that powerful to begin with. So most people turn to aftermarket LED headlights and fog lights, which are great upgrades as well. But if you're looking for some serious high-powered aftermarket lighting, you'll want to look to these aftermarket lights. Now, there's all different types of lights out there. Some are going to provide spot beams, some are going to provide driving beams. Now, spot beams are going to be a direct concentrated light, and driving beams are going to give you a nice 90-degree, and they're going to light up a ton of surface area in front of you. Now, these lights utilize 6 Cree XPG LEDs, and they're very bright. They produce a bright white light at 5,000 Kelvin, plenty of light that you would need to guide your way through a trail or anything that you would need at nighttime. Now, as a whole, you're going to get 2,400 lumens out of this light and 24 watts. Each little LED is rated at 4 watts, and there's 6 total, equating to 24 watts. Now, some of the issues with aftermarket lights and those cheaper options is going to be the durability and longevity of a light. These lights are very well made, they're very sealed up, which is going to make them completely dust, dirt, and waterproof. Anything that you can throw at them, they're going to handle. It's not going to affect the internals. Some of those more affordable options, those cheaper options, they can create condensation. They can collect condensation underneath that lens. That's going to burn out those LEDs, and then that light is going to be rendered useless. Now, along with this light's amazing warranty, these LEDs are rated for an incredibly long time. They have a lifespan of 50,000 hours, which is going to provide you plenty of light for years to come. And one of the interesting things about this light that you don't get with other options is its onboard thermal management system. So as a whole, the housing design and that internal circuitry is designed to reduce heat and realize when it is getting hot that it's going to cool itself down, it's going to shut off, and it's going to keep itself from damaging those internals. Now, the housing is made from die-cast aluminum, which is going to be very corrosion resistant. It is coated in a black powder coating, which is going to give it that toned down aggressive look. It's also going to provide plenty of corrosion protection for that aluminum housing. Now, the lens is a polycarbonate lens that's going to provide plenty of protection for any debris, stones, rocks, whatever you get kicked up, it's not going to crack this lens, and it's going to protect the internals as well. Now, one of the issues that we run into with running aftermarket lighting on our Wranglers is the legality in some states. Some states will require you to cover up those lights, and KC provides a cover with a little lens that you can put over this thing, and that's going to seal up that whole thing, cover it up, and that way you are unable to use your light while you're driving it around. So as a whole, if you do have the funds available to spend on a high quality light, you're looking for something that's going to last you an incredibly long time, has a great warranty, is incredibly well made, then I think that this option is a great option to go with and a great option for you out there. So with that being said, let's show you how to get these installed, wired up, and what they look like on the Jeep. Tools that we use for this install: 17mm wrench, 10mm socket, socket extension, 1/4 inch drive ratchet. Now, with these lights, you are just getting the light and you're getting a pigtail. You will need a harness, which we offer KC harnesses on our website, and also you're going to need something to mount it to. Now, we have a bumper here with some light tabs. If you have an aftermarket bumper, a bull bar, or if you have some brackets to mount them on the windshield, of course you need to acquire those first. What we're going to do, we're going to mount these directly to our bumper. So these are going to come with hardware on the bottom. All we're going to do is just take this nut off. We'll pull the lock washer and the washer off, set it through here, and then on the bottom, we'll just put that hardware back on. Now after you get the nut on, you're going to take a 17mm wrench or socket, whatever you have, and we're going to tighten that up. Now these lights don't come with a harness, but I do have a harness here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to show you exactly how to wire these up, connect them to your battery, run the switch inside, just so you can see exactly what these lights look like when they're on. So we're going to start over here underneath the hood. We're on the passenger side where our battery is. First thing that we're going to do, we're going to pass this harness down through our engine bay so we can come around the grill to our lights. So you want to pick a good spot, and honestly it would be a good idea if you took this air cleaner out. This is relatively easy to do. You're going to use a flathead screwdriver to loosen this band clamp out. Then this whole assembly is going to pull up and out. You're going to get a huge open area that you can just drop this harness down through. That way you can just kind of focus on zip tying it out of the way. It's not going to contact any hot or moving parts. So we're going to plug ends of our wiring harness, and we're going to go and pass this down. So you want to pick a good spot. There are not many very good spots, but there's usually a good spot right here behind the air cleaner and next to the radiator. So you can drop that down. We'll go underneath. We'll grab that. So after that, you want to come around, out from under the grill. And we can plug our light in. So the next thing you're going to do, you're going to run your wiring harness for your switch across the engine bay, and we need to go through the firewall. Now, if you don't have a manual transmission, if you have a vehicle with an automatic transmission, right down here next to your brake booster and in between your fender, you're going to have a rubber plug in the firewall. So you can either remove that plug or you can poke a hole and pass your harness through there. Now, if you do have a stick shift like we do, you will not have that available spot to go through. So the next best spot, of course, besides drilling a hole through the firewall, is going to be right here. You can see these wires right here. They're running through the firewall here, and there's actually a little gap in between a couple pieces of sheet metal, and this is filled with foam. So what you'll need to do, you actually need to poke that foam out, and you can use a fish. So you can take a piece of metal rod or anything, poke that all the way through. You can tape this to that, and that way you can pull those wires through. So what we're going to do right now, we're actually going to pass these wires through the firewall, then we'll go on the inside. So now that we're on the inside, you can see that we have this panel removed. This panel comes off very easily. All you do is just put a flathead screwdriver in here, pry that out. After you get that out, you're going to see this little hole where you can shove some wire through. So this is going to be filled with foam. You can see we have the wire coming out here. Now after you get this out, the next thing you're going to have to do, if you are using the KC wiring harness and switch, they give you this little switch right here. So you'll need to find a spot on your dash where you want and drill a 3/4 inch hole. After you do that, you can pass the wire through the hole, and then you can wire this up to your switch. The switch and wiring goes on the back of the KC little switch, this little rocker guy. You're going to have a bronze terminal and then 2 other terminals. Now the bronze is going to be your ground or your earth, so that's going to go to the black wire on your harness. The middle one is going to be the blue wire. Now, of course, this may vary depending on what harness you're using, if you're going with an external switch or something along those lines. So black is going to be the bronze, blue is going to be the middle, and then the white is going to be the power. So this is going to be your supply. The blue is the load. My one is going to go on this last terminal right here. So if you don't want to drill a hole in your dash, you can always go with a different rocker switch, maybe one that's A-pillar mounted or mounted somewhere else in the vehicle. But if you are using this type of switch, you will need to drill a 3/4 inch hole in your dash. And then once you pass the wires through, you hook this up, you just push it into place, and it's just going to lock it right into your dash. So one of the last things that you'll need to do is wire it up to the battery. So most likely you're going to have a black wire and a red wire on yours. As you can see, this one's yellow, but regardless, in most cases, the black wire is going to be the ground. So I would check with the instructions. However, we are going to wire this up. So you have your black cable, which is the negative side of your battery. So we're going to go black to black, and we're going to do the yellow, which is our power supply, to the red side of our battery, which is the positive. So you don't want to take these nuts off here. This is actually what holds this terminal to the post on the battery. You want to do one of these accessory nuts. So we're going to crack this one free with a 10mm socket. And while you're doing this, you want to make sure that you do not ground the tool that you're using. So while you're doing this, you want to make sure that you do not ground your tool. You also want to make sure that your negative terminal right here, your negative wire for your switch, is not touching anything that's metal either. After you get that back on, we'll just tighten this nut up, and then we can connect to the negative side of the switch. All right guys, so I showed you how to get these lights mounted on your Jeep. I showed you how to wire them up. And one of the last things that you need to do, you need to take a couple of zip ties and just zip tie all of that excess wiring out of the way, away from any hot or moving parts. However, that is going to wrap it up for my review and install. For more videos and products like this, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.